I had been working as a veterinarian for 8 years when, in late September 2002, I received a call from Stephen Cornwell. His voice was hoarse and tired. "Doc, I've got a problem with the animals. Can you come out? I'll pay well." Stephen ran a small farm 30 kilometers from town. I had never been there, but I knew the area remote, almost on the edge of a forest reserve. We agreed I'd come the next day around noon. That morning I loaded my old Land Rover with tools, a couple of antibiotic packs, and a thermos of coffee. The farm sat in a large clearing surrounded by dark woods. The first thing I noticed was the neglect. Wooden structures had darkened with age. Some boards had fallen away. 2 barns had wide-open doors. A third was boarded up. Rusted metal pens held the livestock. Stephen met me at the gate, an older man in a faded jacket and rubber boots. His face drawn, dark circles under his eyes. "Thanks for coming, Doc. I'm at my wit's end with this." We walked through the property. In the pens, 2 dairy cows grazed quietly, a dozen sheep, and a goat. A young bull paced in a separate enclosure. The animals looked healthy. Shiny coats, clear eyes, good appetites. "So what's the problem?" I asked, inspecting the cows. "They're fine during the day, but at night." Stephen hesitated, scratching the back of his neck. "They don't lie down to sleep. They just stare into the forest, and the milk they've stopped producing completely." I examined the cows' udders. They were almost empty, no signs of infection. "When did this start?" "About 10 days ago. At first I thought wolves, but there are no tracks and wolves haven't been here in 20 years. I took blood samples from the cows and the bull, checked the sheep's temperature. Everything was normal." "Stephen, what if I stay here tonight?" "I'll observe them. I might figure out what's going on." His face tightened. "I wouldn't advise it, Doc. This place. It's unsettling. Better come tomorrow, during the day. But I can't diagnose without observation. Is there somewhere I can stay overnight?" He pointed to a small shed next to the main barn. "There's a stove. You can sleep on top." By evening, around 7, Stephen left for his own house across the clearing. I was alone. I lit the stove, ate some canned food I had brought, and watched the animals from the shed window. They grazed calmly in the fading light. The forest beyond was a solid wall of darkness. I grabbed a flashlight and checked the animals. The change was immediate. Cows, sheep, the goat, even the bull, they all stood perfectly still, staring in one direction, northeast, where the forest pressed closest to the farm. Even when I approached, no one turned their head. The goat, which had tried to headbutt me during the day, now stood motionless, like stone. I shone my light toward the forest, but saw nothing unusual. I returned to the shed and noted everything in my journal. Around 11, I stepped outside again. Nothing had changed. The animals still stared into the trees. But now I noticed something else. Their heads were slowly, in perfect unison, turning from left to right. It was as if they were tracking something moving along the forest edge. I stood by the enclosure, trying to see what had captured their attention. The forest was silent, no rustle, no snap of branches. Yet the animals followed something I couldn't see or hear. Gradually, I began to feel it too, the unease, the sense of being watched. By 2 in the morning, I returned to the shed, but could not sleep. The night was absolute stillness. Not a breath of wind stirred. As dawn approached, I drifted into a restless, uneasy sleep. I woke to the crowing of an old rooster. Daylight had begun to seep over the clearing. I stepped outside. The animals grazed normally, as if nothing had happened. The cows had milk again. Everything appeared fine. But I knew. Something had been out there in the shadows, watching. Something that had commanded the attention of all living creatures around. And deep down I also knew it had not left.